just make sure that it's starting. Yay! All right. Well, good morning. I am Rebecca. Well, good morning, everyone. Okay, for the not everyone, the 5 people that watch. So we are going to read this morning, and I am super excited about this. So happy Hanukkah. It is Hanukkah, and let me see here what's I want to see whether it's actually working or not. I think so. No. Let me try this again. I think it's working. Oh, it is working. Okay, good. Then we'll start over. Welcome to all of you who are joining me this morning. And for those who are going to join me later, I just want to read from the scriptures where Yeshua was during Hanukkah. So it is Hanukkah. It is the 3rd day of Hanukkah if you're following the Aviv barley-sided moon calendar, the Creator's calendar. And so it's morning here. My girls are still sleeping, and so I'm kind of like hush hush, kind of keeping it a little bit quiet. But this is like good for me because I haven't actually gotten time yet this festival to read the scriptures about where Yeshua was during Hanukkah, the festival or Feast of Dedication, because he went up there. There was always a death threat on his life, and he felt it so important that he went up to Jerusalem for this festival. So anyway, there's a lot here. There's actually 3 days, so there's about this much. So there's a little bit. So we're gonna break this into 2. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little reading, or half of it this morning, and then do the rest of the half of where he was. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know. But I think I want to light my little temple menorah with you. I like to read by the light and see if maybe I pulled a little bit away from my book in my computer. There we go. We'll put it there. And just before I go wild here with my hands, and because you know me, I just want to make sure that you know I am going to read out of the chronological Gospels, as I tell you all the time. The Acceptable Year of the Lord, the 70-week ministry of our Messiah, by Rude Awakening. So if you don't have it, definitely get it. It puts Yeshua's life in chronological order, so it feels like a story when you read it. It doesn't feel like things are kind of coming at you from nowhere, and it puts it into a beautiful sequence. So yeah, so I did that so I don't have to like hold that up and knock everything over, right? Yeah. All right, I'm just going to, of course I never, I forgot to trim the wicks here. That's okay, they'll burn down, and then they'll get even on clean up here. Fire cleans things up, doesn't it? Oh, there we go. See, it didn't take that long. Always put your matches in the sink or in a bowl or something. I was telling Hadassah, she was like lighting stuff and then putting it on the, I don't know what she was doing with it, but I'm like, oh, she was dragging, she was like blowing it, and then she'd light it and then blow it and then put it behind her and kind of just walk carelessly, and I'm like, no, be careful with fire. Right? Okay, so all I want to do, I'm not teaching on this, I do a lot of rambling, it's just the way I do it, but kind of just let the rock like take my heart into these subjects. So let's read, let's start reading. This is oh heavens, it's gonna be okay. The 6th, it has number 6, must be the 6 big, 6 feasts, maybe from the feast of Sukkot to the month of Aviv. Now wait, oh, we did this. We did that last time. All right. Event 136. Knowing the danger, Yeshua goes up to Hanukkah, aka the Feast of Lights. So we're going to put this right here. Move that there. And don't let me forget to show you this at the end. All right. There we go. I think you can still hear me there. Okay. Because I like you like that. All right. Well, that is if you can hear me. Okay. I'm hungry. The girls last night, I was super tired, and so I laid down and they painted my nails like yellow for Hanukkah, for fire and gold and stuff, and I'm like, I'm having problems because I don't like yellow. Anyway, all right. 135, a Torah. 136, sorry. Knowing the danger, Yeshua goes up to Hanukkah, aka the Feast of Lights, where he confronts the religious leaders. Shabbat, the 25th day of the 9th month, 4027 from creation, Saturday, December 13th, 27, Common Era. All right, so this is week 43 in his ministry. It's day 301. His location and the occasion are not revealed until after the primary incident, and you see that in John 10:22. That's a really important point, is how they nailed where he was during Hanukkah. They looked at where he was before and then what happened, and then it says, and all these things happened during the festival of Feast of Dedication. So let's start reading here in John 8:12-59. It says, Yeshua spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world. He that follows me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. I am the light of the world. So it's the first day of Hanukkah. He goes up to the feast and he says, I am the light of the world. Oh, how incredible. Okay, the Purushim said to him, you bear witness of yourself, therefore your witness is not valid. Yeshua answered, I bet they didn't have an English accent. Not. Your witness is not valid. I bet they didn't have an English accent. Did they? Sorry. Okay. The Purushim said to him, you bear witness of yourself, therefore your witness is not valid, because you need two witnesses to make a statement like that. Something to witness. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, Yeshua answered them, though I bear witness of myself, yet my witness is true, because I know from whence I came and where I go, but you cannot tell from whence I came or where I go. You judge after the flesh, and I judge no man. Yet if I judge, my judgment is true, because I am not alone. I am with the Father that sent me. It is also written in the Torah that the testimony of two witnesses is valid. Thank you, Yeshua. He just gave me the word that I was looking for. Testimony. It is also written in the Torah that the testimony of two witnesses is valid. I am one that bears witness of myself, and the Father that sent me also bears witness of me. Wow. Then they said to him, where is your Father? Yeshua answered, you neither know me nor my Father. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. These words Yeshua spoke in the treasury as he taught in the temple, yet no man laid hands on him, for his time was not yet come. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. These words he spoke in the treasury. Oh man, if you had known me, you would have known my Father also. So that's like so awesome, because it means if you get to know Yeshua, then you will know the heart of YHVH Elohim, the Father. Yahweh Elohim, however you say it. YHVH, the great one, his Father. If you get to know Yeshua, then you will know him. I think that is so fantastic. You know, I mean, at the heart of this Father is unbelievable self-sacrificing love, because if you look at Yeshua, I mean, he came to be a servant. He came the first time, and he came to be the sacrifice and to give of himself and love others more than he loved himself, love Papa more than he loved himself. And if you see him, then he's saying that you'll see the Father, and that means that YHVH is like that. Like, he is so self-sacrificing, so loving, so, you know, love, the definition of love, what is it? Other-centeredness, you know. And so loving others more than yourself, this wonderful wheel of love that gives, takes. I mean, that is YHVH. And I think a lot of people look at the Old Testament and think, well, he was just mean. He was just angry all the time. Well, he was upset. For heaven's sakes, he was upset that, you know, that his people were celebrating pagan things. That his covenant bride was like running around like a she-camel in heat. He was upset. He was jealous. He you know, he has a heart, and so he was, you know, frustrated, you know, and he wanted the heart changed. He wanted, you know, he needed the heart to get cleaned up so that she could be a good bride. So he, you know, through Yeshua, through the work of the Rock HaKodesh, then now there's this wonderful potential to be able to be a clean house for YHVH. So we are, your body is a temple for our God, and what do you put in it? You know, who possesses your temple, sort of thing. That's beautiful this time of the year to think about. So anyway, so Yeshua just talked about that, said that he's the light of the world, and and talked about knowing the Father. Super cool. Okay, let's go on. Yes. Okay, John 8, verse 21. Then Yeshua said again to them, I will go my way, and you shall seek me, yet you shall die in your sins. Where I go, you cannot come. I will go my way, and you will seek me, you shall die in your sins. Then the Purushim said, will he kill himself? Because he said, where I go, you cannot come. Yeshua replied, you are from below, and I am from above. You are of this world, and I am not of this world. That is why I said that you will die in your sins. If you do not believe that I am the one, you will die in your sins. Then they said to him, who do you think you are? And Yeshua said to them, even the same that I said to you from the beginning. I have many things to say and judge concerning you. He that sent me is truth, and I speak to the world those things which I have heard of him. They did not understand that he spoke to them of the Father. It's interesting. I speak to the world of those things which I have heard of him. Heard of him. Well, he was human, and he was not he wasn't in heaven seeing Papa face to face. So, wow. But you will die in your sins. I will go my way, and you'll seek me. You'll die in my sins. Wow. Unless they believe that he is the one meaning unless they believe that he is the prophet that Moses spoke of, that they had to shema and obey. And Isaac's got a great mind map on what it means to believe, to see and believe, because Yeshua is talking, he's already talked about seeing and believing, what it means. So you got to unpack what it means to see and believe. It doesn't just mean, you know, I just see you, like I see you, like I can recognize a form there, but like, so does Hasatan. Hasatan knows that he believes in Yeshua because he knows Yeshua is there, but believe and see and believe. So like, there's so much there to unpack. You can see him, but you got to believe he's the prophet, which means that if he's the prophet Moses spoke of, then we must shema and obey him, right? Anyway, that's pretty powerful. You are from below. So you know what? Okay, so I just got to say right here in this part where he says, you are from below. You know, if we said that to somebody right now, you know, we would be accused of all kinds of things. But he's looking at the Purushim of the Pharisees, and he's looking at their fruits, and he knows their hearts, and he knows he's calling them sons of Hasatan. You know, earlier, sometime in here, he calls them sons of Hasatan. And so he's saying they're from below, and like, he's not rattled because these people are not from his Father. They're not born again. They're not, you know, they don't have the Father's Spirit in them. So he's calling it what it is. And I think we can look at him and go, we can do what he did. I think you may not want to walk up to somebody and say it to their face, but I really think that you can, in your head kind of come to terms with who this person is by understanding this person is from below, that their father is not the king of the universe, that their father is from below. And I think sometimes we just gloss over so much some of these powerful statements that Yeshua makes and says, well, that we say, well, he can say that, but we can't. Well, why not? I mean, he's our rabbi, and we're supposed to do what he does. So, you're supposed to break. You're supposed to bring light, and you're supposed to. And light exposes things that are in the dark, and it's just super powerful. So anyway, just let the rock speak to you on that. I don't know. Let's just keep reading, Rebecca. Okay. John 8:28. Then Yeshua said to them, when you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you shall know that I am the one, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father has taught me, I speak those things. Lifted up the Son of Man, speaking, foreshadowing what was going to come. I believe he that sent me is with me. The Father has not left me alone, because I always do the things that please him. Oh, yes. He always does the things that please the Father. Isn't that nice? Oh, look at the confidence. I mean, look at the confidence of our rabbi. I mean, he is like, he's our brother. He's a human. He's, he's divine, but he's human as well. And he has this confidence in his own walk that says, yeah, I do what pleases the Father. I always do what pleases the Father. Oh my gosh, he is like the perfect one, isn't he? That's what I don't know. I want to walk in such a way that whenever Papa watches and looks at me, and I want him to be so happy. I want my life to please him, like Yeshua's pleased him. So if Yeshua pleased him, then we need to look at what Yeshua did and do that, because that's what pleases the Father. Oh, this is just brilliant. Okay. And I'm loving this because I haven't read this for probably a year, so I'm getting refreshed on it right here. So, sorry, I don't like the way I look with glasses. Anyway. Okay, sorry. I just feel like let's see, where is this? Okay. Verse 29, he that sent me is with me. The Father has not left me alone, because I always do the things that please him. As Yeshua spoke these words, many believed in him. Then he said to the religious leaders which believed in him, if you continue in my word, then you are disciples indeed, my disciples indeed. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Oh, that's wonderful. So there were some religious leaders that believed in him. Notice that. And the truth shall set you free. That he said that. Oh, how neat. Yeah, there you go. Which I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna highlight what he talked about here in a second. Then some of the Purushim retorted. They remind me of like oxen or bulls or something, like snorting. It's like, and pawing the ground. Some of the Purushim reported, we are Abraham's seed. We were never in bondage to any man. So how can you say you shall be set free? Yeshua answered them, truth I say to you, whoever willfully commits sin is the slave of sin. The servant does not abide in the house forever, but the Son abides forever. Therefore, if the Son sets you free from sin, you shall indeed be free to abide in the house. I know that you are Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me because my word has no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and you do that which you have seen with your father. Oh my gosh, there is so much here to unpack. Let's look at just to sit with that. Oh my gosh, listen to that. He's amazing. Okay, so he's differentiating between his father and their father. So he has a different father, YHVH Elohim, and they have a father, and it's Hasatan, right? From below. But look at this, like, oh my goodness, like, Whoever willfully commits sin is the slave of sin. Okay, so willfully committing sin during this time of year would be knowing that Christmas is wrong and doing it anyway. Willfully committing sin is doing, something that you know is wrong and just saying, it's just not it's just not time yet, I'm not ready to let it go, or I just can't do that yet. I can't do that right now, knowing that it's wrong. And willfully doing that's sin. And what is sin? We already know sin is breaking of the law. So, and you have to differentiate, which law, what was done away with at the cross, what remains, and that sort of stuff. But basically Exodus 19 through 24, if you're curious. But anyway, I love this. The servant does not abide in the house forever, but the Son abides forever. So he came to set us free from the bondage of sin so that we could live in Papa's house. So bondage of sin at this time of year is the spirit of Christmas, people. That is bondage. You look around you and you see everyone going they go completely like blank, and they're like zombies. They don't think, and if they are thinking, they are disobeying. If they do know better, then they're disobeying. And I know many people who know better, and they know it's sin. They know it's, or may not classify it as sin actually, but they know that it has pagan roots. They know that it's not a holy day, and they do it anyway. So I know it's all about conviction and about the rock moving on somebody's heart and stuff. So that's the beautiful thing, that we have the helper, and we don't have to, it's not our job to, force anyone to not participate in these pagan holidays. It's the rook's job, but we have to be light, right? So this is just so beautiful what he's talking about during Hanukkah. I mean, you're looking at, one of the biggest, I think one of the biggest things that holds people into bondage is the spirit of Christmas. I mean, it's here almost all year round now. And I really think that he's saying, you want freedom from it? I want to give you freedom from it. I want you to live in the house with Papa. I don't want you to, be from the below. I want you to be from the above, and let me clean you up, and this whole story, the bigger story is that goal of Papa on getting us cleaned up and setting us free, because sin, is Yehoshua wants to put us in bondage through sin. So, and you just look around at this time of year, if you have eyes to see, and you can just see it, you can see the bondage. Every single year, everyone complains, I hate Christmas. It's so commercial. It's da-da-da. And yet you go in the stores and it is bustling and hustling with everyone purchasing this crap that's just going to go in that landfill someday. And it, and putting up this tinsel and glass, and they don't like it. Not at the heart of it. No. I mean, I'm sure that most people, a lot of people, just really can't stand this holiday because of how it forces you to do this, and you don't necessarily want to spend the money. You don't necessarily want to get together with your friends and family, and you have all these issues with that. I mean, it's just, some people probably love it. I'm not saying that there's not those that love it, but it's sin to celebrate these holidays. Okay? Enough. I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay a little quiet because the girls are still sleeping. So otherwise, I think I would be like, ah! Okay. All right. Wow. He said it. So, he said it, then I can say it, right? Right. All right. And so can you. Okay, so we were talking about, he said, I know that you are Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me because my word has no place in you. So there's no room in him, there's no room in their hearts for him, because they have, their heart is already filled up with other stuff, themselves, stuff that their father and the below wants them to have, yada yada. I speak in religion, okay, and religion. It's religion that has that place in their heart. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and you do that which you have seen with your father. They answered and said to him, Abraham is our father. Yeshua said to them, if you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. But now you seek to kill me, a man who has told you the truth that I have heard from Yehovah. YHVH. Abraham did not do this. You do the deeds of your father. And then they said to them, you were not begotten through were you not begotten through fornication? I would have just, I don't know, like, he's like, Yeshua is amazing because he is completely capable of dealing with these guys, you know, having this sort of encounter. And he actually went up to the festival of dedication here. He's having this encounter with these Pharisees, these religious leaders during this festival of dedication. I mean, and it looks to me like it is so much, all his conversation right here is about the condition of the heart and who lives in the temple. Okay, so he's saying these religious leaders have this spirit of Hasatan living in them, that their father is Hasatan. They're doing the works of the father, of their father, Hasatan. And he's saying, I do the works of my Elohim, and, you know, my father, and, you know, my father lives in me, sort of thing. You know, his words are in me. And he's talking about the temple. He's talking about who inhabits our dwelling. This is why Hanukkah is so important. And just to remember here, Hanukkah is the Hebrew word, if you don't know, all 5 of you who are watching me, if you don't know, Hanukkah is the Hebrew word for dedication. That's why it's called the Feast of Dedication in some of our scriptures. You know, wow. If you were Abraham's children, you would do the works of Abraham. Abraham did not do this. Oh. And then he puts the name here. It's awesome. We have one father. Okay, so wait, let's do this. Oh, wait, so he says the name of the father here. But you seek to kill me, a man who has told you the truth that I have heard from Yehovah, YHVH. And then it goes on. Abraham did not do this. You do the deeds of your father. Then they said to him, were you not begotten through fornication? We have one father, YHVH. So they were countering and saying, you know, we have one father. We're not from the bottom. We're from him. So just a little commentary on that fornication, or on Yeshua's father, you know, him being born out of fornication. It says, they supposed Joseph was the father of Yeshua, who was conceived out of wedlock, and that he was thus begotten through fornication. And you can see that in Luke 3:23, but we know that wasn't the case. So then the Pharisees come back with, we have one father, YHVH, as if they have the same father that Yeshua had. And then Yeshua said to them at verse 42, John 8, verse 42, Yeshua said to them, if YHVH were your father, then you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from Yehovah. Neither did I come of my own accord, but he that sent me. Wow. Why do you not understand my words? Because you cannot hear my words. You are of your father Hasatan, and the lust of your father you will do. Whoa. The lust of your father you will do. Oh my gosh, it's all about who lives here. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of lies. Wow, I just love that. He is just nailing Hasatan. I tell you the truth, and you do not believe me. Which one of you accuses me of sin? So I speak the truth. Why do you not believe me? He that is of Yehovah, YHVH, hears YHVH's words. You cannot hear me because you are not of YHVH, Yehovah. Oh, wow. Like, do you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like, you know, you're talking to somebody and about this journey, about understanding what the law is, what obedience actually looks like, and as you're talking to people, as you know, you have eyes to see now. You have been given eyes to see. The Ruach HaKodesh has been able and been successful in giving you eyes to see. But you're talking to somebody who is blind as a bat, and it's like the words are hitting the wall, or it's like you're hitting a spirit. I've had contact with, you know, with that several times this last season, and you know, contact with that religious spirit, and or that spirit of, you know, I want sloppy grace, or the Christian spirit and that sort of thing. I don't know, and the Christmas spirit, of course, you know. And well, I just want to quote Yeshua. back. You know, he is amazing. He knows who Hasatan is. For heaven's sakes, he created Hasatan, and Hasatan was his firstborn per se, and became his mortal enemy. You know, the adversary. That's what Hasatan means. And this is just stunning. This is just something you can sit with during this festival. Why do you understand my words? Because you cannot hear my words. That's how I feel when I talk to people. I'm looking at people like, why can't you understand what I'm saying? Because it is so clear. You know, I can go through and I can give a very detailed, comprehensive study from the scriptures. And if that person does not want to see, that person will not see. And, you know, and then I see this and I'm like, that's because those people are from below. That their father's from below at this point. You know, it doesn't mean that Yeshua can't rescue them, and I'm sure he wants to, but the more you align yourself with which side, the good kingdom or the bad kingdom, the more you're going to get solidified in that. I just love listening. This is just beautiful. I needed this today. So Yeshua's got chutzpah. He's got chutzpah, and I want his chutzpah. And that's the whole idea of eating of Yeshua. You eat of him, and then you're like, wow, I want that. I want his chutzpah, and you can have it. Okay, let's keep reading. He just nails the character of Hasatan right here. In verse 44, he was a murderer from the beginning, abode not in the truth, because there's no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own. For he's a liar and the father of lies. I tell you the truth, and you do not believe in me. Which of you accuses me of sin? So if I speak the truth, why do you not believe me? He that hears of Yehovah hears Yehovah's words. You cannot hear me because you are not of Yehovah. That's where the whole born again thing comes into play, people. Do you understand that? Like, I know I'm back here again, but that's where the whole born again thing comes. If you know, some flicker of light comes across your path or into your heart, and you go, wow, I don't want to be a son of Hasatan or a daughter of Hasatan. I want to be a son or daughter of Yehovah. You know, that's where the whole beauty of the story and the gift of Yeshua and the Ruach HaKodesh indwelling will allow you to become born again into the new family through a new mother. The Ruach is going to bear you again, bear you, and then birth you again. Oh, it's just super cool. Okay. Verse 48, then the religious leaders answered, did we not accurately say that you are a Samaritan and have a demon? Wow. Yeshua answered, I do not have a demon. I honor my Father, but you dishonor me. I do not seek my own glory. There is one that seeks and judges. Truth I say to you, if a man keeps my sayings, he shall never see death. The second death, okay? He's not talking the first death. He's not talking, you know, the death when the video I did earlier about, you can see it on my YouTube channel, The State of the Dead. You know, he's not talking about the first death. You know, the first death is we go to sleep. Now look at that. It's like all flipping out there. The first death is we go to sleep and we wait the resurrection, okay? We don't get our eternal reward at death. We get our eternal reward at resurrection. So, but he's talking about that second resurrection. You know, you shall never see the death, the final death, the one that you don't come back from, okay? Or you, that one's the one he's talking about. Then the religious leaders said to him, now we know that you have a demon. Wow. Abraham and the prophets are dead, and you say, if a man keeps my sayings, he shall never see death. Are you greater than our dead father Abraham and the dead prophets? Who do you think you are? See, look at that. I mean, just as a side note, the religious leaders are honestly confirming the idea that when you die, that first death, you sleep and you wait. And, you know, because they know they're dead. They know Abraham and all the fathers of Israel are sleeping. They're waiting the resurrection, so they know that. But Yeshua is saying, he said, that shall never see death. If he's talking about the second one. Yeshua answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. My Father honors me. You say that he is your Father? You have never known him. Never known him. but I do know him. And if I say I do not know him, I would be a liar like you. But I do know him, and I keep his word. Look at that. He's more concerned right here. He's more concerned right here about what Yehovah thinks than what the religious leaders thinks, because he knows that Yehovah is watching. And if he denies Yehovah right here and says, I don't know him, so that he appeases the religious leaders, then he's just lied, and he has, broken trust with his father. That wouldn't have worked. And he stood up and he said, no, I know the Father. At all costs, they're gonna try to kill him here. So anyway, I think this is we'll find out, because I haven't read this for a while. I do know him, and I keep his word. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. The religious leaders said to him, you are not yet 50 years old, and you have seen Abraham? Yeshua said to them, truth I say to you, before Abraham was, I am. Wow. Then they took up stones to throw at him, but Yeshua hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them. Yeah, they tried to kill him there. Okay, so, there's so much here. I mean, oh my gosh. So Abraham saw his day. So there's a little commentary here. Oh yes, in John 8:56, so it says here, on Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Okay, the Melchizedek brought forth bread and wine to Abraham and instituted what would be 2,000 years later become known as the Lord's Supper. Abraham gave 1/10 of his vast wealth because he prophetically saw the broken body and shed blood of Messiah, which would atone for the sins of the sons of Adam. This is how Abraham saw Yeshua's day and rejoiced. Oh, isn't that amazing? That's why Abraham was so moved when the royal priest, the Melchizedek priest, when he came to Abraham back in Genesis. That's why Abraham gave him 1/10 of everything. It was because he saw in the breaking of the bread and the wine the blood of the Messiah and the body that it was going to be sacrificed. That's amazing. That was, because Abraham went through the pieces. So, and he didn't go through the pieces. He didn't make that contract with with YHVH Elohim in Genesis 15. Yeshua stood in place of Abraham. So, yeah, and so, because, remember, YHVH knew that Abraham's descendants were going to break the contract. And so instead of putting Abraham into there, because if Abraham had broken the contract, or his sons had broken the contract, then we all would have been toast. We would have died with no hope. But Yeshua went in place of Abraham through those pieces, making the contract between YHVH and Yeshua. So, crazy beautiful. That was a lighted lamp and burning furnace. I am the light of the world. He's the lighted lamp going through the pieces in Genesis 15. Oh, there are so many parallels here. There are so many connections. It's amazing. And just remember too, I mean, there are people teaching against Hanukkah here, especially in the Melchizedek movement, which is unbelievable, because he risked everything to go up to the temple, and he taught in the temple during this festival, and he interprets it for us as to the heart of it, and what he wants it to be about. And look at that, they took up stones to throw at him. So the idea is he really risked his life to go up to the feast. He didn't have to. I mean, Hanukkah is not something you have to go to. It's not commanded in the Torah, so it's not one of the 3 that you are commanded to go up to Jerusalem. So he didn't have to go up here. He was in the Dead Sea area preaching during the winter time. And Jerusalem is actually cold. It's interesting. When we went there, as we were traveling there last year during Sukkot, that would have been a couple months ago. It was cold in Jerusalem. Like I had to have a coat, and that was Sukkot. So I know I kind of keep track to see what the weather's like in Jerusalem, and it's chilly there. So he could have stayed on the beach over in the Dead Sea, but he came up to this festival because it's so important. There's so much to it. I just think that's amazing. So there is so much here. I encourage you to just keep reading it and read it for yourself again. And anyway, let's go on. Let's read a little bit more. Yeah, so I will read. I think I'll read. Will I read more? What time is it? I think I will read just a tad bit more. All right. At Hanukkah, okay, event 137, at Hanukkah, the light of the world heals a man born blind. Shabbat, 25th day of the 9th month, 4027 from creation, Saturday, December 13th. So this is actually the same day. Yes, it's the same day. Okay, John 9:141. So starting in John 9:1, as Yeshua was leaving the Temple Mount, he saw a man which was blind from birth. His disciples asked him, Master, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Yeshua answered, neither this man sinned nor his parents. But he was born blind so that the works of YHVH could be manifested in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night comes when no man can work. Wow, isn't that cool? Look at that. You have day and night. Hanukkah is all about light and dark. Day and night. It's super, that's amazing. And I hadn't seen that before. She's leading circle. Okay. Hey! Stop that! One of my animals is like tearing at the carpet. Oh, that's funny. But he was born blind, so the works of Yahweh could be made manifest to him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night comes when no man can work. Man, what does that mean, when no man can work? Maybe because it's so dark. I bet you that's what it is. Where it is going to be so dark that it's going to be super hard to minister fish for scattered Israel, or it's just going to be too dark. I don't know. I mean, he said it. I can feel it. Okay. Or maybe he's referring to when it's done, like sealed, and then it's over. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. There he says it again, second time. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Oh, you know what? Super cool. Little thing we do when we have an event for Hanukkah. And one of the things that I love to do is show how important a light is. And so each one of these, candles in the Hanukkah, we use a Hanukkah, it's over there right now, to mark off the days of Hanukkah. And then there's the Shamash candle, which is the servant candle, the attendant candle that it represents Yeshua, that lights our wicks. And like if you pretended like each one of these was a person and they were getting lit by him, I have this little, word picture game I like to do. So I turn all the lights out when I have all people around in doing the game, and it's actually for the dedication service. But anyway, I turn all the lights out, so I get it as pitch black as I possibly can, and wherever we are, and everyone has a candle and a match or a lighter. Excuse me. And so then I ask one of the people to go into like the kitchen and get, I don't know, a fork or something. And probably not a fork. I do something a little bit more hard, like a peeler or something like that. And so I have him the person try to go into the kitchen while it's dark, it's pitch black, and go find it without knowing where it is. They can't just know where it is. They have to like go and actually into a new place. And they can't find it. Take them, they're bumbling around, kind of thing. And then I have one person light their candle out in the other room, and it sheds a little light, but not a ton yet. But then I have another one and another one and another one, and pretty soon there's enough light for this person who's trying to find what it is I asked them to get. They can find it. They have enough light to see. And so much more wonderful when the light is right there next to that person. Or I just think we need to remember how important one light is. One light just darkness can't live with light. It like, you know, and it's interesting because he talks about bad light as well. So let's look at that as well. I don't know where he says it here, but let's look. Let's keep going. But that's my little game you might like to play with your kids to let them know how important, remember how important light is. Now, verse 5, John 9, verse 5, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Because we are in so much darkness. When he had thus spoken, he spat on the ground and made clay of the spittle, and he anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay, and said to him, go, wash in the pool of Shalom, the sent one. He went his way and washed, and came back seeing. The neighbors and those who had seen him before when he was blind said, is not this he who sat and begged? Some said, this is he. Others said, he looks like him. But he said, I am he. Isn't that interesting? Like when you get eyes to see, you might not even look like the same person anymore. That's awesome because you just radiate something so much bigger than yourself. So much, you know, a blind person, you can't see into their heart, but when you become unblind, you can see. Oh, so beautiful. Okay. He looks like him, but he said, I am he. Therefore, they said to him, how were your eyes opened? He answered, a man called Yeshua made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, go to the pool of Shalom and wash. I went and washed, and I received my sight. Ha! Then they said to him, where is he? He said, I don't know. I was blind. Oh, look at this. Let's see. On 16:1 or 9:16. I thought there was one. Okay, the blind man with the clay. Okay, we'll get there in a second. Okay, 9:13, continuing. They brought the man that was previously blind to the Pershim, to the religious leaders, because it was the Sabbath day when Yeshua made the clay and opened his eyes. The Pershim also asked him how he had received his sight. He said to them, he put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and now I see. Some of the Pershim said, this man is not of Yahuwah, YHVH, because he does not keep the Sabbath day. Oh my gosh. Others said, how can a man who is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. Wow. They asked the blind man again, what do you say about him since he opened your eyes? He said, he is the prophet. Wow. Oh, there is so much. Okay, let's look at the little commentary here on John 9:16. That is the part about this man is not of YHVH because he does not keep the Sabbath day. So this is a little commentary on this. Rabbinic Takano absolutely forbade the mixing of water and dust on the Sabbath because that constituted creating something, mud. So you're actually creating something. Oh my gosh. It was also expressly forbidden to put saliva on the eyes on the Sabbath day. You can see that in the Talmud Tractates Shabbat 108b. It was further forbidden to travel more than the prescribed measurement for a Sabbath day's journey, which was 2,000 cubits, about 3,437 feet. You can find that in Baba Metzia 32a. Oh my gosh. Yeshua broke two of these rules as he fulfilled the messianic prophecy of Isaiah concerning the healing of a man born blind. Notice he didn't tell that man to not say anything. That's interesting because other times he told people not to say anything, right? He then commanded the blind man to walk more than a Sabbath day's journey to wash his eyes when water was readily available on the Temple Mount. So he could have just washed his eyes right there. So he had this skunk on his eyes and he had to walk quite a ways. Interesting. In the healing of the lame man at Shavuot and the healing of the blind man and of the man born blind at Hanukkah, Yeshua commanded them to break the man-made laws of the Pharisees before he pronounced them whole. That's so interesting. I mean, kind of what's coming to my mind is you were blind, but now you see, and he's actually making them commit crime against the religious leaders' laws as an expression of, I am now whole. I can now see. In that process of seeing, you're going to actually purposefully break man-made religious laws in relationship to, it has a relationship there with getting eyes to see. You see that? Oh my, that is just beautiful. Isn't that amazing? Okay. Wow. And then I don't know, he said that he is the prophet. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. So the blind man is going to testify that Yeshua is the prophet that Moses spoke of, that we must shema and obey. You know, and I know this is running on, but I have to say that one of the reasons that I fight so hard for the understanding of the change in priesthoods is because Yeshua is combating the religious leaders of the day, who he was going to take away their job description. He was going to basically render them jobless, because he was changing the priesthood. And you know, when you look at what Yeshua did and the fact that he is our high priest, he is the one we are supposed to obey, he's the one that we're supposed to look to and know that all truth is in him, everything he says is golden, he is the prophet, and that was spoken of. He's the one that is going to and did enact the change provided for in Genesis 49:10, and bring us a light burden instead of a heavy burden, to give us, you know, as to create in our hearts new wineskins to receive the new wine of the Melchizedek understanding and the new priesthood that was going to start with, you know, people who had the new and quality love, because he didn't say there's a new commandment I give you. He said it's a new and quality commandment I'm going to give you. You're going to have a new and quality love, you know. And I just think I fight for that, because I think we ignore him so much when we ignore the change, when we ignore what he did. And in that changing of priesthoods that Hebrews tries to unpack in Hebrews 7, Shaul Tice tries to unpack that for us, because it is so important to understand the work of Yeshua and not dishonor him by not understanding the change, and by continuing to propagate lies about what was and was not nailed to the cross. So anyway, I just love him so much, and I really think that he's just an amazing creator, God, friend, you know, bridegroom, brother, king. I can't get enough. And eating of him like this is super cool, because it fills my heart for today. And I think I'm going to end right there. We'll go, we'll finish the testimony. We'll finish what happened with the whole man born blind and the healing of that man next time. Okay, so then I'll read that and this to you next time to finish up what Yeshua did during the Feast of Dedication during Hanukkah. So, yeah, super cool. I want to, this is a really cool little just highlight of what Yeshua talked about during Hanukkah. Light. He talked about light, that he is the light of the world. He said it twice. He talked about the job of a Melchizedek priest, in the sense of that his father is YHVH, YHVH, and that YHVH hadn't abandoned him, and that he was about his father's business. He talked about doing the works of a Melchizedek priest, which would be the works of Abraham. He talked about freedom. He talked about remember how he talked about being in bondage and what true freedom is. He talked about blindness of eyes and ears. He talked about that while he gave a blind man sight, which we're finishing next time. And then he talked about a couple other things later on that are pretty cool with that. And he talked about the heart. He spoke about the condition of the heart when he talked about having eyes to see and ears to hear. And, you know, who lives here, who owns this temple. And you're going to see one other thing he does for the heart of the blind man that I think is absolutely stunning. You are going to, join me next time. It is absolutely stunning what Yeshua does for this blind man, I think. And I think it just goes along with this feast of dedication, and which is all about the heart. He talked about being a Maccabee warrior. I mean, he just, it's just not that he talked about, but he was, he shows conviction and strength like a Maccabee warrior, and how he combats the attacks and is completely unafraid of the religious leaders who are trying to impose anti-Yehovah ways on the people. And then he escapes out of the hands of those who wanted to kill him. So, I mean, talk about a Maccabee warrior, on steroids. I think that's Yeshua. And he talked about life. Oh, I think you're going to see that later. And then another better way. So we got a couple more things to cover for what he did and spoke on during Hanukkah. So please join me next time. And today I hope you have a fabulous and fantastic continuing on the festival of dedication, and that you dedicate your heart to be a temple for YHVH Yahweh Elohim, the great one, the King of the universe, the one that created you. The truth, and that Yeshua lives in you, and that the Ruach HaKodesh will indwell in you, the gift that he wants to give you, so that you can get eyes to see and ears to hear, so that you can be reborn. So you don't have to be, your father does not have to be Hasatan. Your father can be Yehovah Elohim. You just have to get reborn, and you have to get eyes to see. All right? So that you see and believe what Yeshua is saying and who he is, and then obey. All right. Have a great feast of dedication. I am out of here. I think they're still not awake, but I am starving, so I'm going to go make something to eat. Maybe some latkes, I don't know. But these are pomegranates. I have like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pomegranates. We've already eaten like 3. We eat pomegranates tons during Hanukkah because it's a great food for the heart. It actually helps your organ. So we get like lots of nutrients in there with pomegranates. I love pomegranates on yogurt and in cereal, and it's pomegranates. And then I love boxes of light. Lots of light. So I hope that you have made some great traditions for Hanukkah to turn the hearts of your family into a better celebration. Yeah. As long as you know the difference between fact and fiction with Hanukkah, as long as you know the difference and you don't, that you help to restore the true Hanukkah. Because we definitely don't want it to look like the pagan holiday. It's not. You can't have Hanukkah and Christmas in the same room, because one is a celebration from freedom from the other. Okay, Hanukkah is a celebration from pagan sun god worship, enforced pagan sun god worship. When you go out, you see the slaves in the stores who are being forced into pagan sun god worship. They're forced by society, they're forced by their family, they're forced by tradition, they're forced by memories, they're forced by nostalgia. There's the music, everything forces you into pagan worship, and Hanukkah is all about freedom from that. So Yeshua wants to set you free from Christmas. Okay, it's huge. It absolutely is huge. This whole thing is epic. This is where I am super passionate about restoring Hanukkah. I think we need it. I know we need it, because it's all about our hearts and rededicating the temple to its original purpose. Okay, so I hope that you actually join me my family and I next Monday night here on YouTube. We're going to watch together the premiere of our heart dedication ceremony that we did last year on the 8th day of Hanukkah. So you'll see it's super cool, because Hanukkah is actually a beautiful time to sit in the doorway of the tent of meeting for 7 days as you look inside your heart and make sure it's a clean temple for Papa, and then on the 8th day rededicating it to Papa so that you can enter into service for him. This is the protocol. The 8 days was a time of dedication. It's a Torah protocol on how to become a priest. It was 7 days in the tent of doorway. Before that, you watched what Yeshua did, or watched what Moses did. Then they sat in the doorway of tent of meeting for 7 days, and then on the 8th day they rededicated, and then they started ministry by doing exactly what Moses did before they entered into their 7-day period. And this is a Hanukkah. This is dedication. This is, watch what Yeshua did. Sit in the doorway of meeting for Hanukkah 7 days. On the 8th day, rededicate your temple to Papa, to Yahweh, and then start doing what Yeshua did. How cool is that? I just, it's just amazing. So, okay, shalom. I'm starving. Bye-bye.